Hi everyone, my name is Samir Aziz from Warrior Architecture. I help men in the first decade of their careers achieve greatness and fulfillment in their life, relationship, and business. Now, today's conversation is about mastering the time of our life. This is not a conversation about productivity. You can find many other videos online to help you with that. This is a conversation about perspective and purpose and what really matters in our lives. You see, there is something that is decisive that we consistently overlook, and that is that life is too short to live it small. We need to make it count. Now, this reminds me of a radio conversation that I listened to over a decade ago, and it has been something that I've been sharing with my friends ever since. An older gentleman was sharing his philosophy of life, and essentially what arose for him in his 20s and 30s was that he was burnt out. He had given absolutely all of his energy to his work, and he had left everything else to fall by the wayside. His friends, his family, his personal health. He was stressed out all the time. And it came to a point where he just asked himself, what am I doing this all for? Every single weekend, I am either having to rest or recuperate from the intense week that I'm having if I'm not working on the weekends. So he decided something had to change. So what did he do? He counted every single week that he had left to his expected 75th birthday. 75 years representing the life expectancy at that point in time. And then he bought a marble to represent every single one of those weeks. In total, this was something like 1,500 marbles. And so what he decided to do then was every Sunday that passed, he would take one of these marbles that was in this big bowl and he would throw it away. This simple act for him of presencing the importance of life and presencing its impermanence completely changed the way he lived it. He decided to change his job, he decided to focus more on his relationships, and he decided to make every single weekend count. Every single weekend became a weekend where he did what he really wanted to do with the people he wanted to do it with. Now, the average lifespan today is around 75 years. And we can think about this life broken up into 3 phases. The first, from 0 to 25, is when we're beginning. This is when we're investing in ourselves and others are investing their time in us. Our parents, our teachers. We're building our physical, our mental, our emotional, our social faculties. In the second phase, from 25 to 50, is where we're using all of these different skills that we've built to then produce things in the world. We're creating other humans and guiding them as parents ourselves. We are seeing projects be realized and helping communities grow and develop. And then in that last phase, from 50 to 75, we are passing the baton. We are seeing our children and our grandchildren grow and continuing to instill within them the values that we believe lead to living a good life before we make our transition and dematerialize. So the thing that throws a wrench into this whole view of life, though, is that we don't really have 75 waking years because we sleep 1/3 of every day. So we actually have 50 years of waking time. Another wrench that gets thrown into this is that the average American watches 4 hours of TV a day. That means every single year, you're giving up 2 months of your life. Life is too short for us to let it slip through our fingers. It is too important. And once we realize its importance and that our time on this earth is ticking, the natural question we ask ourselves is, what should I be focusing on? If this life is important to me, what is it that I could be doing now to really take full advantage of it, to live a life of fulfillment? And the beauty of this question is that there are so many people who have come before us who have already set the example of what a fulfilling life can be and what a life full of regrets can be. And those two things are really opposite sides of the same coin. And they fall into three broad categories, these regrets. The first is people feel regretful around having chosen an unfulfilling career, that they put all of their energy and their life source into something that they didn't truly care about. There was always some other glimmering light in their life that they were curious about, that they wanted to try, other things that they wanted to experiment with and investigate, but they just never took the chance. The second area is people feel like they didn't take the time in relationships. They weren't present with family. They weren't present with friends. They didn't express the deep-seated emotions that they really wanted to share with those people because of fear. And then the third area is that they didn't take better care of themselves. They end up coming to the final stages of life and living a life that is diminished in either quantity or quality because of decisions that they decided to make and that could have been avoided. Beyond being aware of these three broad categories, there is a powerful question that you can use to help you distinguish about the activities or projects or work considerations that you're involved in and help you prioritize so you can focus on what really matters to you. And that is, if I lived my life without blank, would I feel like I had missed something important? This is a question that helped me free my life of the sport of dancing. I used to be really involved in the Latin and salsa dance scene. It's one of the many ways that I built a lot of relationships, made new contacts and connections with others. But what I realized is that spending time on the actual development of my dance skills was something that wasn't aligned with where I really wanted to take my life. Sure, I can continue to dance and still be out there and do it every now and then, but that doesn't mean that it needs to take up a big chunk of my time. On the other hand, I knew that human potential and coaching people and helping develop others was something that I was extraordinarily passionate about. So throughout this conversation, you've gained a new perspective about how short life really is and what is important. And now you could go sit at your desk and you could start to brainstorm and draw out a bunch of different ideas about how you want to live your life in a more meaningful way. But what would be so much easier is to have a process that really helped you design your life. How to make it clear for you where you want it to be in your career, in your relationships, the experiences you wanted to have, the financial structure you wanted to have. And I have a gift for you that is exactly that. It's a 12-page guided audiobook. If you go to www.warriorarchitecture.com/purpose, you'll be able to have access to a process that will help clarify things for you. Thank you so much for listening to this video today. I look forward to staying in touch. And if you have any questions or any comments about today's topic, please leave them below and I'll make sure to answer.